What if I told you that the reason your kitchen keeps getting messy isn't because you're lazy? What if it's not because you need better storage, or because you don't have space? What if the real problem is this? You were never taught the rituals. There was once a way of living where nothing was wasted, where every grain of rice mattered, where a kitchen was not a battlefield of clutter but a place of reverence, a place of gratitude, a place of discipline. In Japan, there is a word that captures this entire philosophy in one breath: Mottainai. And today, we're going to rediscover 5 forgotten habits, ancient, practical, powerful, that can transform your kitchen into something sustainable and permanently organized. Not for a week, not for a Pinterest photo, but for life. What is Mottainai? The word Mottainai is deeply rooted in Japanese culture. It loosely translates to "what a waste," but that barely scratches the surface. It carries grief. It carries respect. It carries responsibility. It's the feeling you get when food spoils in the fridge, when you throw away leftovers, when you buy a gadget you never use. It whispers, "This had value." Historically, the spirit of Mottainai became especially powerful in post-war Japan, particularly after the devastation of World War II, when scarcity forced families to use everything wisely. Nothing was disposable, nothing was casual. But over time, convenience replaced consciousness. Plastic replaced permanence. Speed replaced ritual. And kitchens became storage units instead of sacred workspaces. Today, we reclaim 5 rituals that embody Mottainai and make sustainability not a trend, but a lifestyle. Ritual 1. The empty shelf discipline. Buy only what your space can honor. Picture your kitchen right now. Cabinets spilling open, fridge doors struggling to close, pantry shelves sagging under cans, jars, and forgotten snacks. Maybe there's a drawer where gadgets have been crammed for years, and the trash bin seems like it fills itself faster than you can empty it. Modern kitchens overflow not just with food, but with intentionless purchases, impulse buys, and things we might need someday. This clutter isn't just inconvenient, it's stressful. Every time you open a cabinet, you feel a subtle tension, a little pinch of overwhelm. But imagine stepping into a traditional Japanese home. Here, every item has a place, and every space is respected. Shelves aren't jam-packed. The space itself teaches patience and mindfulness. The philosophy of Ma, the Japanese concept of negative space, guides this way of living. In Ma, emptiness is not absence. It is purpose. A shelf without items is not empty, it is ready, ready to receive, ready to honor, ready to serve, as a reminder that every possession must earn its place. The forgotten habit. Before bringing anything new into your kitchen, pause. Ask one question: where will it live? If you can't point to a designated spot, you do not bring it in. This simple ritual may seem small, but its effects are profound. No more duplicate spices gathering dust in your cupboard. No more expired canned goods tucked in the back, forgotten. No more just-in-case gadgets that end up as clutter. No more bulk purchases that rot before you can use them. This habit isn't about being frugal, it's about intentionality. Why? This creates permanent organization. Clutter doesn't come from use. It comes from homeless items. When everything has a proper home, you instantly see what you already own. You instantly recognize what you truly need. You stop panic buying because the empty shelf calls you back to mindfulness. You stop hoarding because you've learned that each item must earn its place. Your kitchen stops feeling chaotic. It breathes. And in that breathing space, your mind relaxes. Practice this week. Pick one shelf. Completely empty it. Do not refill it immediately. Let it serve as a living reminder. I will only bring in what I truly use. This is not minimalism for aesthetics. This is discipline for sustainability, a habit that protects your space and your peace of mind. Ritual 2. The daily reset, not the weekly cleanup. Now, imagine another scenario. It's late evening, and your kitchen looks like a storm passed through. Dirty dishes stacked in the sink, crumbs on the counter, half-full trash, and appliances scattered. Many of us respond to this chaos reactively, cleaning only when guests are coming, or when the mess becomes unbearable. But in ritual cultures, Cleaning is proactive, deliberate, and daily. Take the chanoyu, the Japanese tea ceremony, for example. Every tool, every surface, every cup is reset immediately after use. There's no waiting. There's no excuse. The ritual ensures that the space is always ready for the next moment of activity. The forgotten habit. At the end of each day, make it a non-negotiable ritual to wash every dish, wipe down every surface, return every item to its designated home, empty the trash if it's even half full, clear the sink completely. It only takes 10-15 minutes, but this small investment prevents mold and bacteria buildup, lingering odors that make your kitchen uninviting, food waste from forgotten leftovers, stress accumulation that turns your kitchen into a dreaded space, weekend cleaning marathons that eat into your time and energy. Why this is sustainable? Mess compounds if ignored, dirt compounds, stress compounds, but so does order. A daily reset means you never wake up to chaos. You cook from clarity, not frustration. You see everything clearly, so nothing goes to waste. Cleaning is no longer punishment, it becomes maintenance. Not drama, just ritual. A small, consistent action that protects your space, your food, and your peace of mind. Ritual 3. Cook with the seasons, not with impulse. Step into your local supermarket today. Strawberries in December. Avocados year-round. Imported everything from across the globe. While modern kitchens are designed for convenience, the cost of this convenience is waste, expense, and environmental strain. In traditional Japanese culinary culture, the philosophy of seasonality is paramount. Known as washoku, this philosophy is recognized by UNESCO as intangible cultural heritage. Seasonal cooking isn't just beautiful, it is practical, sustainable, and respectful. The forgotten habit. Plan your meals around what is abundant in your region, what is naturally available at the time, what is freshest and local. Seasonal ingredients last longer, taste better, cost less, and when certain ingredients are only available for a short time, your creativity increases. You learn new ways to prepare, cook, and combine flavors rather than defaulting to the same imported, out-of-season items. The organizational benefit. Cooking seasonally naturally simplifies your kitchen. Your pantry stays focused on ingredients you will actually use. Your fridge empties faster, reducing spoilage. You stop hoarding exotic ingredients that might sit untouched for months. The kitchen becomes intentional, not impulsive. Your purchases align with actual needs rather than fleeting cravings, and your waste shrinks naturally. Ritual 4. Use it fully. The root to stem mindset. Imagine standing in your kitchen with a bunch of carrots, a chicken, or a pot of leftover rice. Most people see the carrots, cook what they need, and toss the tops. The chicken bones, into the trash. Leftover rice? Forgotten in the fridge until it turns hard and stale. Mottainai does not tolerate partial usage. To follow this principle is to see value in every part of what you own, to honor the work of farmers, producers, and nature itself. It's about transforming potential waste into opportunity, flavor, and creativity. In traditional kitchens, nothing was wasted. Vegetable scraps, bones, or stale bread weren't trash, they were tomorrow's flavor, tomorrow's nourishment, tomorrow's inspiration. The forgotten habit. Here's how to apply the root-to-stem mindset in a modern kitchen. Vegetable scraps broth, carrot tops, onion skins, celery leaves, mushroom stems, they all contribute to a rich, flavorful stock. Instead of tossing them, freeze them in a small container. 1 week later, you have the base for soups, stews, or risottos. Stale bread croutons or breadcrumbs. That loaf sitting untouched for 3 days? Slice it, toast it, add garlic or herbs, and suddenly it's a crunchy salad topping or a coating for chicken. Nothing wasted. Everything transformed. Overripe fruit smoothies, compotes, or jams. Bananas, berries, or peaches on the brink of spoilage become a natural sweetener or dessert. You reduce sugar usage, reduce waste, and create something delicious. Rice, fried rice, or rice pancakes. Leftover plain rice doesn't need to sit and harden. Transform it into a hearty fried rice, arancini balls, or savory pancakes. Bones stock. Chicken, beef, or fish bones simmered slowly create a nutrient-rich stock that enhances every meal. What was once garbage becomes the foundation of flavor. Why this changes everything. The root-to-stem mindset transforms your kitchen habits psychologically and practically. You stop overbuying. When you know every part will be used, you buy wisely, not impulsively. You stretch every grocery trip. Fewer trips, more efficiency, less fuel, less stress. You reduce trash. Every scrap repurposed is a step toward a sustainable home. You reclaim value. When what was once ignored becomes essential, your perspective changes. You start to see the hidden worth in everything you own. This mindset isn't just about saving money or reducing waste. It changes your relationship with food. You respect it fully. You consume intentionally. You shop carefully. And the beauty? Once you see the potential in scraps, creativity naturally returns. Cooking becomes playful, inventive, and deeply satisfying. Ritual 5. Gratitude before and after eating. Now, imagine sitting down to a meal. For many, eating is a hurried, unconscious act. Food is consumed quickly, leftovers often forgotten, and the effort that went into creating the meal goes unnoticed. In Japan, every meal begins and ends with gratitude. Before eating, itadakimasu, I humbly receive. After eating, gochisu-sama deshita, thank you for the meal. These words honor the farmers, cooks, animals, plants, and nature itself. Gratitude slows you down, and when you slow down, you waste less. The forgotten habit. Make gratitude a daily, conscious practice. Before eating, pause. Look at your plate. Consider the effort it took to bring this meal to you. After eating, reflect. Ask yourself, did I take more than I needed? Did I waste anything? What can I do better tomorrow? This simple awareness acts as a subtle form of accountability. Why this matters? Practically, gratitude isn't just spiritual, it's incredibly practical for sustainability and kitchen organization. Prevents overserving. You portion with mindfulness, reducing leftover waste. Prevents food waste. Conscious eating encourages finishing meals or properly storing leftovers. Discourages impulse cooking. You buy and cook what you need, not what looks appealing in the moment. Reduces emotional eating. Slowing down allows you to recognize true hunger versus cravings. Gratitude disciplines consumption, turning everyday meals into a ritual of mindfulness and respect. The transformative effect, combined with the other Mottainai rituals, this one completes the cycle. You only bring in what your space can honor. You reset your kitchen daily. You cook with awareness of the seasons. You use every part of your ingredients. You eat with gratitude. The result? A kitchen that's not only organized and sustainable but alive with intention, clarity, and respect. Why these rituals work long-term. Most kitchen organization advice focuses on containers, labels, aesthetic pantry jars. But sustainability is behavioral, not decorative. You can buy all the organizers in the world, but without ritual, clutter returns. The Mottainai mindset works because it reduces input, resets daily, aligns with nature, maximizes usage, cultivates gratitude. This is a system, not a hack. A warning about modern convenience. Convenience culture teaches, buy more, replace faster, throw away. But permanent organization is not found in consumption. It is found in restraint. If you truly apply these 5 rituals, your trash output decreases, your grocery bill decreases, your stress decreases, and something unexpected increases: peace. Because chaos in the kitchen often mirrors chaos in the mind. Order outside creates clarity inside. How to implement this without overwhelm. Do not try all 5 at once. Week 1. Empty shelf discipline. Week 2. Daily reset. Week 3. Seasonal cooking. Week 4. Root to stem. Week 5. Gratitude ritual. One layer at a time. Remember, minimalism is not a purge event. It is a maintenance culture. The kitchen is not just a room. It is where nourishment begins, where discipline is practiced daily. where waste either accumulates or disappears. Mottainai is not about guilt. It is about respect. Respect for space. Respect for food. Respect for effort. Respect for resources. Imagine a kitchen where you open the fridge and nothing is forgotten. You open a cabinet and nothing is overcrowded. You cook and nothing is wasted. You clean and nothing is postponed. That is not aesthetic minimalism. That is ritualized sustainability. If this video shifted your perspective, then here is your next step. Choose one ritual. Practice it for 7 days. Observe the difference. And if you want more deep dives into forgotten philosophies that quietly transform modern life, from Japanese order to global cultural wisdom, make sure you subscribe. Because sometimes the most powerful change is simply remembering what we once knew. See you in the next one.